Hi everybody, this is Wednesday and this is the third day of the Global Read Aloud, and today I am gonna be reading another book for all the classes and all the children and the teachers and the readers that are participating in reading aloud books today and this week, this whole week, because various of my books have been chosen to be read this week. Then I decided I want to participate too because I love reading aloud. And this Wednesday I'm gonna be reading Little Night. Little Night is one of my first books. Because I am a writer, but I'm also an illustrator, and there are books that I only illustrate, and there are books that I write and I illustrate. And Little Night is actually the second book that I made, that I both wrote and illustrated. My first book is the book that I actually read on Monday, which is Just a Minute. And at the time, and I'm still learning how to make books and how to tell the stories. And I want to tell you a little bit of how Little Night happened to be, because I was learning. I knew that I was in love with children's books, and I was still learning how to create books, how to write and how to illustrate them. I decided I was going to take some classes. So I took a class to learn how to write children's books, and it was one of those evening classes. And there I had a hard time with the class only because my English wasn't good enough yet, but I made some really good friends there. And at the end of the class, we decided that we wanted to continue creating the stories, and decided to continue meeting. Like, we invited the whole class and we say, even though the class is finished, let's continue creating and looking at our work and see how we are doing, and apoyar each other, no, estar unos con los otros, ayudarnos, help each other. And we form a group. And at the beginning there were like 25 people, and at the end we were about 5 that we were still getting together. What that did is that I created a critique group, a group where I learn. You know how most things are very difficult to learn by ourselves. We can study, we can read books, you can do like I did, that I will go to the library and try to learn from there. But there is a learning that only happens when we get together with other people that also want to learn. And when we learn together, we become stronger. And we created a children's critique group. That was more than 20 years ago. We are still together. And what we used to do, and we still do it, is that in the end of every year, we will create assignments, and we will put ourselves assignments, and we will drop everything that we were doing and write a new story. And let's see here, I see that Rosa Chin is connected. A lot of people is connected. Hola, Ana Elba, Miriam Ortiz. Ojalá que sí puedan conectarse. Y pues les estaba diciendo, I was telling you, we made this, we had an annual tarea. It was an assignment in which we will choose words, random words that will help us as a springboard to have an idea for a new picture book. Now, I know that what I'm telling you seems like stories might come from random places and places that we don't expect them. And a lot of the stories, I know they work like that for me. Sometimes they come from surprises or from things that I haven't thought about before. But I also recognize that most of what we create, we actually have it inside. We just need like a way to bring it out. We already have it. We have our thoughts, our ideas, our memories, the things that we like, the things that we don't like, the things that we are afraid of. And sometimes all we need is a way to bring them out. And these assignments that we had was a way to bring out things, stories that I already had inside. And in one of those assignments, there was the words that we were gonna create, or used to create, was hairdos and the hidden thing. That was like the idea. And we could create from those two words or concepts in any way that we wanted. It was just as to give us like a seed, a chispita, or a something to imagine a new story. But like I say, I already had stories inside, and for a long time I had been wanting to create a story about my memories of how my mother, when we were kids, she will try, my sisters and I am one of three sisters, and I have another brother, but when we were growing up, we were three girls. And my mother will make a lot of things for us. Because she was taking care of the economy of our family, she will create things. She will do our clothes. She will even like crochet and knit our sandals and our underwear and our socks. And at some point, she got a knitting machine, and she went crazy with that machine because she made coats, and she made everything. Like I said, she even made my calzones sometimes. So my mother was always very creative and was making things with her hands and with her creativity and her imagination. And in that way, she passed on to us this way of creating every day. So I wanted to make a story in which this mother is getting ready a little child, and just to get ready to live, to something like that. And I had this memory that when my mother used to try to get us to go to a party, or we were gonna go out of the house, and she will want us to get dressed, or have our hairs do. Especially my sister, one of my younger sisters, she will not like it, and she will always run away, and she will always hide. So I had that memory, and I wanted to celebrate that way, that interaction of mothers with children, and how they together, they do things, they do creative things, and how they just love each other. So I made the story of Little Night. I made it with that assignment. It eventually became a book, and this is the book I have here right now. And Dennis Fleming says, my grandma made our clothes. Yeah, I think that we have a lot of families that they will make our clothes. My mother was very like she has this idea that we needed to know how to make those things, especially if we needed to help with the economy of the family, like I say. And when I was little, she even taught me, like very, very young, I must have been like 5 years old, she taught me how to crochet. And I made myself a vest, and I made myself a hat. And I loved it. And from the things that my mother taught me is that sometimes now I apply those teachings so that I can make my illustrations. Like yesterday I was telling you about how I made Viva Frida, and I did embroidery, I did the sewing of all the clothing and everything that Frida is wearing. And I know how to do those things because since I was very little, my mom taught me how to do it, because she believed that, especially we women, that's the way she saw it, that we women needed to know how to do those things. I do not believe anymore that those are something that girls have to learn. I think that this is something that we are all, we all have the opportunity to learn how to do. And I'm very happy that I learned how to do. When I don't know how to learn something, how to do something, I do learn it. So based on that, I was telling you, I made Little Night, and as you can see, she already is wearing one of those dresses like my mother made for me one day. And let's see, Deb Kell, my mom made my clothes too. She made the dress I wore for my first day of kinder. I think these two things together were symbolic, as they are such a part of my life now as a teacher, now too, to make, to learn, to teach. Exactly. So it is like this way of creativity, of creating. And yesterday I was also telling you that one of the things that I have learned is that if I only made the things that I'm good at, I will probably not make anything, because we are never good at anything. The first time we do it, We just don't know how to do those things. We are gonna have to figure them out. If we only did what we knew how to do, what could you do? I wouldn't be able to do much. Even to speak, even to draw, to write, those are things that we learn. And being creative, using a sewing machine, knitting, making clothes. My mom used to make even our lamps. Those are things that we learn. And my mother was always a very good example of whatever she didn't know how to do, she will figure it out. She had a saying in Spanish. The saying says like this, because we will go with my mom and she will almost knew anything. Like if we ask her how can we do this, she will say this is how you do it. And I will ask her, my sisters will do too. So mom, how do you know that? And my mom say, oh, porque yo todo lo sé y lo que no sé lo invento. In English that means I know everything, but whatever I don't know, I make it up. And that was a saying that has stayed with me for a long time. Of course, my mom was joking, you know. Of course, she didn't know everything. But what was true is that whatever she didn't know, she made it out, and she figured it out, and she figured a way of learning. And that connection is a connection that I wanted to bring to a story like Little Night. Federico, buen día, yo también te mando un abrazote. Y ahorita que estamos en la semana de Global Read Aloud, pues hay algunas escuelas que están leyendo Little Night. There are some schools that are reading Little Night among other books. I have my old copy. Now the copy that you can get nowadays is a bilingual copy that has a version in English and Spanish. But this time I'm gonna read Little Night, and this is the version in English, and it begins like this. And I'm using two cameras because so I can put this in YouTube. I don't know how to make the live video and put it directly in a video that eventually others can also access, even if they don't come to Facebook. So I'm gonna be trying to be in the frame of both cameras. So this is Little Night, and this is by su servidora, Yuyi Morales. Thank you, Dennis. Dennis says that it's a beautiful cover. Jorge Salas, beautiful story. We just read it and the kids are not watching. Hi everybody. So the students from Jorge Salas' class are watching. So mucho gusto. Me da un montón de gusto que estén aquí. Welcome. We are going to be reading Little Night, and this is by su servidora Yuyi Morales. This is how it starts. And books have many ways to tell the stories. Like you can say, even just the end papers, they do tell stories. Little Night by su servidora Yuyi Morales. I'm gonna get on this side. I think here everybody can see. As the long day comes to an end, Mother Sky fills a tub with falling stars and calls, "Bedtime for Little Night." Little Night answers from afar, "Can't come. I'm hiding, and you have to find me, Mama. Find me now." And here it is. Can you find Little Night? Can you see where she is? Mother Sky looks down a rabbit hole. She puts her cheek on the darkest sand. When she peeks behind the hills, whom does she see? I found you. I found my Little Night. Face scrub, lather up, towel spread, and catch Little Night in the air. And here is Mama giving a bath to Little Night. As the sun sets so red, Mother Sky unfolds a dress crochet from clouds and calls, "Dressing time for Little Night." Little Night hops out of her chair. "Not now, not yet, not until you find me, Mama. Don't forget to close your eyes. Where could you be? Mother Sky hovers by the shade of trees. She searches in the stripes of bees. When she peeks inside the bat's cave, whom does she see? If you can find. I found you! I found my little knight. 2 arms in, 1 head out, bottom the white dress crochet from clouds. And this is the dress that, like I was telling you, that my mother made a dress just like that for me. I have a photograph with myself wearing that dress. As the warmth of the day fades, Mother Sky fills up a glass of milk and serves pancakes on a plate. She calls, "Time to eat, little knight." Little Knight dashes past the table. "Count first, Mama, from 1 to 10. It is going to be hard to find me this time." Do you think that Mama is gonna be able to find her? Mother Sky counts. 1, 2, 3. Let's see. Mother Sky looks inside the shutter barn. She pats the raven cheeks. When she brushes her hand over the blueberry field, whom does she see? ¿A quién ve? I found you. I found my little knight. Creamy mustache, lips sleek, stars dripping from the Milky Way to drink. As fireflies and mothers come out, Mother Sky sits on her chair waving her comb. She calls, "Time to comb your hair, little knight." But what does she hear? Only the hushing of the balmy wind. Mother Sky looks around, but little Knight is not peeking from behind the hills, nor is she hiding in the caves, nor vanishing into the field. Where could my little Knight be? Do you see her? Can you find little Knight? I think I know where she is. Peekaboo, Mama! I am right here. Mother Sky sits little Knight on her lap, and with her shiny comb, she untangles the knots, twists the hair between her fingers, and makes little swirls. We call them chonguitos, little swirls. One on the left side, one on the right. To keep them in place, she takes 3 hairpins from her pocket. Venus on the east, Mercury on the west, and Jupiter above. Now, my little Knight, take your moon ball and play. I can catch it, Mama. See me bounce it high into the air. And this is the end of the story. Dedications are also important. It's something that when I read picture books, I love to look at the dedications because they also tell the story. They tell the story of sometimes how these books come to be. And I'm going to read you my dedication for this book, and it says like this. In the flower city, there is an endless mother, giving and magnificent like the sky. She is my mother, Eloina. this book is for her. And I have a note, and it says, while making this book, I met two brave mothers who, like many Mexican women, are fighting cancer and poverty to keep alive. They have young children to love and raise, and they work very hard every day to stay with them. Señora Vadillo y Asunción, thank you for keeping me inspired. And when we finish a book, we always say, y colorín colorado, este cuento se ha acabado. And this is the story of Little Night. Yesenia Vázquez, encantada, gracias. Marcy Abbas, hola, Marcy. Well, this was a reading of Little Night, and thank you for being here. I just want to add a few more things. One is about the dedication. This book is about mothers, about motherhood. It's about the things that children and their parents do together, and how they bond together, how they learn to be creative together, how they play together. And it is an homage, of course, yes, to many mothers, but also many parents in general, who are doing everything they can to have their children safe, loved, and growing and learning. I hope that you have enjoyed this reading, and if you have any questions, de nada, Joana, Julia, aquí estamos. Thank you, Dennis. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Tomorrow, today I'm in Mexico City. I'm making my way to Boston, where I'm going to be at the Boston Globe Book Award, because my book, Dreamers, is receiving an honor book. And there is a great list of books that are receiving this award as well. So I'm going to be meeting with some other authors who are doing books that I admire as well. And from there, I'm going to go to New York, where I'm going to be at the inauguration of that a few illustrators and I did murals for the Brooklyn Library. I hope that you can go there and see them, because they are awesome. And these murals are at the children's area of the Brooklyn Library, and I'm gonna go there because they are gonna unveil these murals, even though already people can go and see them. And then I'm gonna go and get to see my son. So it's gonna be a complete celebration. It's gonna be great. Cristal Espinosa, felicidades, muchas gracias, Joana. Gracias. Sí, sé que va a ser un viaje hermosísimo. So, because I'm gonna be on the road, I'm gonna try to connect tomorrow, maybe a little earlier, and see if we can read another book tomorrow. We should read Niño Wrestles the World, which is one of my favorite reads. So I hope that you can join me here. And on Friday, I'll make a space to read Dreamers, Soñadores. So if you are here tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, it will be great to get together, to read more books and celebrate that we can read books with our children, that we can read them aloud, and that we can connect through the things that we learn when we are together reading books. You know, that reading thing, sometimes it seems like it has to do with reading words, and in reality, reading is a love action. It's a way of being with someone else, and even hugging, maybe even just being close together, and reading aloud is an action of love in which we share and connect, even if we don't know the words. The first readings that I did with my son, when they were books in English, he would want me to read those books, even though I didn't understand many of the words that were in those books. But just the action of trying to read a book together made us very close. I'm happy I'm gonna see him tomorrow, and I hope that I can see many of you too. Todos los estudiantes que están viendo aquí, un saludo bien grandote para todos ustedes. Ana Elba says hello to Roxana Benavides in the mural celebration in Brooklyn. Yes, I'm gonna be seeing a lot of people there, and I will say hi for everybody. So you have a great great week of reading aloud. Thank you.